Someday, it'll all be gone. The only question is, when? Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome to the underground laboratory where we create robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. And we're going to do some robots today because this is one of those quick robot blueprint sketches that I do. It's a shorter video. If I've just got a little topic that I just want to touch on, or in this case, I got a question from a viewer who wanted to know how important lightfastness, that's a weird word, lightfastness. How important lightfastness is to me as a comic creator. Now, if you're not familiar with lightfastness is, what that means, well, that's in reference to how something, in this case, a particular art tool that you use will fade when exposed to sunlight or just over time, because pretty much everything comes in contact with sunlight. So, but yeah, I thought that was a really good question, one that I hadn't got before, and it's something that I've got a little bit of opinion on. So I thought I'd talk about that while I do a blueprint sketch. So let's get to it. Okay, I got my Cotman watercolor brush and my Pro White ink and my blue paper. I'm going to do a little rocket robot sketch, and we're going to talk about lightfastness. So, like you guys, I watch a lot of artists on YouTube, and I was watching one artist in particular, really great artist, James Reyes. He goes by the box office artist. He's got a pretty big following, so you probably heard of him, but if you don't, I will leave a link. But he does, I think he does comics, I think he does Transformer comics, really cool, really detailed mechs, but he also is great at portraiture and things, and he did a whole, there's this giant, almost mural size, but he did it in pieces, just all the different Star Wars movies together, just like a montage. Really awesome. And I was thinking, man, this guy's artwork, I really like his Transformer type stuff. And I don't buy a lot of original artwork, but I'm like, oh, that would be kind of cool. And then I noticed that he was working in microns, which is cool and everything. I've done work in microns too. But he was coloring his blacks in with Sharpies, and I'm like, oh no, really? Because the problem with Sharpies is that they fade fairly quickly over time. They discolor and everything. And so with artwork, especially as polished and as nice as his stuff was, I would hate to buy that artwork and then realize that it's probably going to fade. So as comic book artists, that's something you want to take into consideration if you're doing traditional artwork. Granted, I mean, if you're just gonna draw it and scan it in the computer, and that's perfectly fine. The Sharpie will get you the dark colors you need, and it will be fine for print. And if that's all you want, that's fine too. And of course, there's a lot of people who work digital, so they're not really concerned about selling the original artwork. But if you are concerned with selling the original artwork, you probably want to look into more of, I mean, there's so many inks on the market, but something a little would last a little longer. I use a manga ink called Deleter Black No. 5, but there's a lot of other great inks out there. So something you want to take into consideration. And then I started thinking about myself, and I do a lot of marker renderings, and believe it or not, Copics as expensive as they are, Copics or Copics, however you pronounce them, sorry, some people get mad if I pronounce it right or wrong, but if those Copic markers, they will fade. I mean, they're really quality art supplies, but they will fade over time as well. So I was thinking, and but I don't sell a lot of that stuff, but I have got requests from people that want it. So that's something maybe I should consider, letting people know that, this is not an archival marker that I'm using. It will eventually fade over time, and that's something that you should probably let people know. But it's the same thing with prints. A lot of times when you go to conventions, you buy these cheap prints that are basically just color copies, and those are going to fade. I mean, those color copies, they aren't made to last. So when I do my prints, I have to charge a little more for them, but they are done in archival inks, and it's an archival process and everything that I use for my printing, so it will stand the test of time. I mean, at least 100 years, which is pretty good. So something you want to take into consideration, whether it's prints or whatever tools you're using. And like I said, if you just want to scan it in, Sharpies are fine and they're quick and everything, but you might want to really consider using like an India ink or something that has a little more lasting effect. So those are just some quick thoughts on how I approach that lightfastness as a comic book creator. Okay, so here is our rocket bot sketch, another blueprint sketch down, and another topic discussed. So you know how I feel about the topic of lightfastness and archival inks and things like that, but I'm curious what you guys think, so let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that other good stuff, and I will see you guys later. That is all. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me here in the Art Lab. There's a lot of other great content on the channel, so click that subscribe button and you won't miss a thing. If you're an aspiring evil genius, visit Serkworks.com for all your mad science supply needs. And if you want to contact me, hit me up in the comments section or follow me on social media. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you then.